everybody? It's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. Won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. A gain of 3, second down. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Will Fuller is one of the young flyers in the NFL and gets to top speed in just a couple of steps, so everyone has to respect the deep game because he'll blow past people in a hurry. But what that does is leaves open space underneath. He can take the short pass, turn it into a bigger gain because he makes people miss. If he takes care of his hands and doesn't drop a pass or two in a game, he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
On second down, here's Miller. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
I was so proud of you in our meeting with the defensive coordinator because you asked the question that set him off. And all you said was, so what improvement do you need to see this week, Coach? And boy, he got fired up, didn't he? Takeaways. We need turnovers. We got to create them. Got so animated, jumped up in our meeting. It was fun to watch.
Somehow I always upset a coordinator in those meetings. Yeah. But they like you. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. Complete. He finds Bray. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Give them 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. So opening drive, third down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
Throw left side complete. That's Fuller. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And an alley to run. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
On first down, it's Watson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And down inside the 15 he goes. The receiving numbers for Hopkins a week ago. 7 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football. I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
To throw on second is Watson. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
One-handed. Love the effort. Not much production on that play, though, huh?
Not a whole lot of yardage. You get that grab, you probably want a first down.
And he'll be the one in the film session. He'll be saying, hey, run that one back, coach.
Yeah.
Run that one back.
One more time.
Let's see that again. And they won't.
And he'll take this one in for a Texas touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Sturgis adds the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Try the ground game here with the running back. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
See what
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Left side complete. Safarian Jenkins. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series. Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. Would be ideal.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Watson hands to Miller on the draw, and the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Rashaan Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson able to shake him off. And break, the tight end's got it. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
Let's take a look at tight end Austin Safarian Jenkins, or ASJ as his friends and all announcers like to call him because it's a whole lot easier. Second tight end drafted in 2014, but production was really lacking until 2017 with the New York Jets. Had 50 catches, which was more in his 2+ combined years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Detroit! Detroit!
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. play fake here on first down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it second down. A run through the starters defensively for the Texans. They put together a strong effort last week in the win over the Bears, CD.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week because his feeling was good, solid performance, did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely would like to see some improvement in this week's game.
They always want improvement, don't they?
They certainly do.
That first down completion only netted them 3. 2nd and 7. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. They'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on 3rd. They'll try and sneak it here. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. Now they try the right side here. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This long drive continues here to start the 2nd quarter. And they've got it here with a first down. Back to throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And some concerns caused him to slip to the 5th round. I guess if you're him, the good news is you kind of flew under the radar. Maybe expectations are low. You can come in and prove something.
And a lot to prove because those off-field concerns that creep in on you, you want to prove that they're all wrong, that they don't matter, that you are a much better player than what people picked you.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup. I really don't know where to go with this one. He caught the pass, but in the opposite direction towards his own end zone. That's not one you get every game.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal?
Here we go now.
They'll look to throw here. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
Now on 4th down, out comes the field goal unit here. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. And this is not going to be anywhere close. No good, way wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
They begin with a run by Miller. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Watson on third down. He finds his target, Fuller. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 23 yards on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Watson now on third down. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
I know we're just in the second quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his second drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Now this offense about ready to take over again. Now, they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
The offense on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
Here we go now.
They'll look to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. second down. Here's Watson. And Dwayne Allen on the ground. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Texans on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Hey, back 22.
Out of the gun, Watson. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And Boyd has it over the middle. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. To the air yet again, Watson. And he'll find his man on the out route. That's Allen. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Watson hands this to Foreman, and he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. The tackle is made by Adoree Jackson. But at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. About 3 yards there to the 27.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Watson to throw on third down. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
They're going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Here's Watson now on second down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Shane Ray. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. Two minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this one's incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They'll set up to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. And a look now at Lamar Miller. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now it's Watson. And his throw is incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 8.
Black 22! Black 22!
From the gun, here's Watson. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
Black 22!
From the red zone now, Watson being chased out left. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Down! Blue 80! Blue 80!
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Underneath for Miller. A great move, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. The Texans on 3rd down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Green 39! Green 39!
A carry for Foreman. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now Sturgis on to add the extra point. Sturgis for the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was finished off by Deontay Foreman on the touchdown run. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to loft one. And got his man complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They'll look to throw here on first down. They'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This a 43-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. And it's the Monarchs who are out in front. Blake Bortles, 2 touchdown passes thus far. Next, we'll stay in the AFC North as we head to Heinz Field to check on the Steelers. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Denver Broncos. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. Andrew Luck back and better than ever. 3 touchdown passes. In the game you're watching is Deshaun Watson, who is the star of the first half. His guys have a 2-touchdown lead as we hand it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here now the offense heading back out there. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. A rookie QB struggling, gets thrown down to the ground there. But, you know, maybe this game, it's not over yet, but maybe this game can be a learning experience for him.
So many different things that he has to pick up on. When to go ahead and flush from the pocket and run. When to get rid of the football, not take the sack. When to just go ahead and go down early and make sure you don't fumble the football. So many things that he has to learn. This game starts the process.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Uncorks one for Davis. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. Finding some room in midfield. He's got Fuller. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Now a 1st down throw, Watson, and that's incomplete.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Down! Green the line! Green the line!
Now Foreman, and he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On 3rd down, Miller. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Now this offense ready to head back out there. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one by him.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Looking to throw on second down. Watson and Brate, the tight end's got it. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Black 22! Black 22!
Throwing on third down, Watson. The catch made by Miller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 35 yards there on the third down conversion.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now a handoff to Miller. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. And there on the tackle, Shaq Lawson. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. Now Watson setting up the screen for Miller. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So here's the kicker, Caleb Sturgis, on to try the field goal. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that'll push the lead up to 17. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. No, check. Patriot.
They'll set up a throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Kayvon Webster on the defensive side able to get a hand in.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right. They have had no room to breathe. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Brett Kern now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. That's pulled in at the 32. Whoosh. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
And avoids the contact by sliding. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now Watson operating from the gun. Caught left side Hopkins. And he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Again, it's Miller. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Black 22!
They'll go with Foreman. And that play's not going to get him in as he stopped right at about the line of scrimmage. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
You're not you when you're losing. Snickers.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Sturgis adds the PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was finished off by Deontay Foreman on the touchdown run. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. This will be taken about the 12. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Caught, Safarian Jenkins, right side. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Complete. Smith has it. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Forced out to his left. Able to get away. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Texans scoop it. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now defensively here, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the second time. And they won't try and pooch it. It's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. Well, not only did they try to fake it, they put the ball in the arm of their punter, and it didn't work out.
Not the quarterback.
No.
The punter.
Yeah. Risky.
And it's so funny because when it works, genius. When it doesn't work, not so smart.
Not so genius.
In this case, not so genius, but I do admire that he went for it.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And an alley to run. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll look to throw now on first down. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's a give to Miller. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Now here's whistles and another timeout. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. This is Miller. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. On third down, that's Miller. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And now back out comes the offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
319! 319! Detroit! Detroit!
Looking to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first. He'll look to throw. Gets it to Gordon. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Zay Jones was the intended receiver. And that'll make it third down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And this offense on third down today, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 15. They'll look to throw here. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kamale Correa coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. It's Texans football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Down! Back 22!
Here's Foreman. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. That'll get a little bit back, give him 5 on the run, and they'll be left with a 3rd and 13.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Down! Blue 80! Blue 80!
And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Still 3rd down.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
Down! Back 22!
Again, it's Foreman. And he'll get nothing out of that one. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. On, we think, to punt, though he's faked it earlier, but he was unsuccessful. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
They'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Now let's go!
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route.
And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. Anxious moments there on the fake, but they do get just enough to pick up the 1st down. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for the Texans, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll get another road day next week as their opponents will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. So long, everybody.